Welcome again to the old principle. 我就是老校长. And we're going to look at another story. But this one today is my story, so it allows me time to talk a lot. But I want to show you this is lesson number 236. This is not me, by the way. Obviously, my childhood, I'm already more than 60 years past my childhood. So, yeah, you won't find a picture of me, but the title is Growing Taller. So with that, we're going to listen to Connie read the story.
Story 236, Growing Tall. All throughout my childhood, I was short. I didn't notice it so much until I arrived at the boarding high school and discovered that I was the second to the shortest boy in the school. I was in the 10th grade, 16 years old, and only 5 feet tall. I was afraid the girls would never look my direction since I was even shorter than most of them. Even my parents were concerned. My mom went to see a doctor and asked him how to make her sons grow taller. The doctor could have jokingly said, "If your son wants to grow tall, he must choose his parents very carefully." He did give an interesting recommendation. He suggested that every night before we went to bed, we should drink 2 glasses of milk. Therefore, the school was requested to provide my brother and me with milk every evening so that we could drink it at bedtime. The other students were surprised to see us carrying milk bottles back to our rooms every day. We only did this for a few months. There is no way of knowing whether the milk did any good. The problem was not one of nutrition, but one of time. We were just slow growers. 4 years later, we were still growing. Eventually, I topped 6 feet 1 inch, and my brother grew even a little taller than that. This experience reminds me of a little boy who desperately wanted to grow tall. One day his mother saw him outside hanging by his hands from the clothesline frame. She opened the window and shouted, "What are you doing?" Gritting his teeth, he answered, I'm tired of being short. I'm hanging here because if I hang here long enough, my body will stretch out and I will be taller." We laugh at this little boy's answer, but I believe that if children eat well and take care of their bodies, they will naturally grow taller in due time.
Welcome back. Glad that you're here with us today as we look at this very, it's a personal story. Maybe not so exciting, but you're always going to learn some new words, and there will be plenty of opportunity for you to listen to me speak English. 会帮助你的听力. All throughout my childhood, I was short. 童年的时代, okay? I was short. Now, people look at me today. Right now, at my tallest, I was 186公分. So they say, "Oh, you're tall." Well, when I was young, I was not tall. Going on. I didn't notice it so much until I arrived at the boarding high school. I knew I was short, but 没有注意到. I didn't notice it so much 直到 the boarding high school. A boarding high school is 住校的一个中学. So it was a boarding high school. The high school's name was Laurelwood Academy. And I was 16 years old. 16 years old. Okay? I discovered at the school, now this is not a big school. In fact, Laurelwood Academy is quite a small school because it's a boarding school. I mean, you're living in dormitories, 你住在宿舍. So, it's only 400 students, total 400 students. So when I went there, I discovered I was the second to the shortest person in the school. Notice the English here. I was the second to the shortest in the school. Okay, I was second to the shortest. 最矮小的第二位. Now, going on, I was in the 10th grade. So I'm already in the 10th grade. I'm short. And I was only 5 feet tall. I was 150公分, 5 feet tall. I was 16 years old. So I was very, very short. Of course, maybe there's some advantages to being short, but in America, people like tall, if you can get tall. Okay, go ahead. I was afraid the girls would never look my direction. I was afraid that the girls would never look my direction, which means 我有一个担心 is a pana. I'm not sure that it was that much, but I had to worry at least that the girls would never look my direction. 不会总不会 never 总不会向我的方向看 which means that I would never have a girlfriend. Why? Because I was shorter than almost all of the girls. Okay, I was shorter than the girls. Now, there's a reason for that, of course, that girls develop faster. 她们发育比较快. So, I was slow in growing and the girls were taller and I thought, oh my, I'll never have a girlfriend because they'll never look my direction. Going on. Even my parents were concerned. Okay. Now in this case, again, lately we've seen this before. Concerned means 蛮担心的. They have a concern. 不是关心 but they are concerned. 他们是很担心 me. Mom went to see a doctor. Now, my mother was a nurse. Okay, need to keep that in mind. My mom went to see a doctor and asked him how to make her sons grow taller. Dear doctor, my son is so short. I want my son to grow taller and taller. What can he do to get taller? Okay, going on. The doctor could have jokingly said, he didn't, but he could have, 或许他会说了, but he didn't, so that's good. If your son wants to grow tall, he must choose his parents very carefully. If your son wants to grow tall, 长高, then choose your parents carefully. Now, what does that mean? Well, obviously, 当然你没有办法选你的父母亲啊。So it just simply means that tallness and shortness, these tall and short, depend upon each one. It depends upon your parents. And then obviously, there is no way that you can choose your parents. So there was a song years ago, and it was sung by, wow, this is 50, 60 years ago. I think it was Patti Page. Correct me if I'm wrong, those of you who know. And it says, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Well, whatever will be. And I was short, and my parents thought or wished that I could grow up. Going on. The doctor did give an interesting recommendation. This is the doctor's recommendation. 他的建议呢，也是蛮有趣的. At least in the environment of our school going on, he suggested that every night before we went to bed, we should drink 2 glasses of milk. Okay, now, I think I'm smarter than the doctor now. But in those days, the doctor said, before you go to bed, drink 2 glasses of milk. 喝2杯牛奶. Now, first of all, you should go to bed with your stomach empty. 你不要这个肚子满满的东西消化的时候才睡觉. That's not a good idea. Go to bed with empty stomach. So it probably wasn't a good idea, but that's the best he could suggest. He said, drink 2 glasses, 2杯牛奶, just before you go to sleep. Going on. Therefore, the school was requested to provide my brother and me with milk every evening so we could drink it at bedtime. My mother asked the school to provide, 要供给我, and my brother, younger brother, he was the same height as I was, but he was a year younger too, some milk every evening just so we could drink it before bedtime. 睡觉之前就喝了. Going on. The other students were surprised. 蛮惊讶. Okay, they were surprised to see us carrying milk bottles because it was against the rule to carry the milk bottles out. So you were not supposed to carry the milk out of the cafeteria. But here we were. It was a little bit embarrassing because, I mean, you're not supposed to be doing it. And here's my brother and me, and we're just going along here with 2 bottles of milk. It's like, okay. And it's just a little bit embarrassing. Okay. And we did this only for a few months. 就几个月是这样做了. First of all, I don't think I grew very much in those 2 months. Now, my next slide here says there is no way of knowing whether the milk did it any good. Personally, I don't think it did any good. There is no way of knowing whether the milk did any good. Now, standard conventional wisdom nowadays says that milk builds strong, healthy bodies. The trouble is, sadly, that much of the milk today is for is is tainted. It's got problems. It's not so healthy for you. Anyway, my own personal opinion is that milk is for baby cows, not baby human beings. I think that when God created us, there was something better than milk. But maybe it's the best thing we can have at this point. But for sure, there was no way of knowing whether the milk did any good at all. Going on. The problem was not one of nutrition, but one of time. We were just slow growers. The problem was not one of 问题不出于这个营养 it's not nutrition 但是问题是时间 we were young and we were slow growers 那我们发育的很慢 some people are slow growers I had a friend he and his sister so what do you know about them 他们是双胞胎 okay they are twins but they are one male and one female so when they were young they were the same height and they grew up together but what do you know about girls they grow faster earlier 所以他们发育是比较早 so she started to grow taller and taller and taller and my friend was pretty short still and she was taller not to worry we all told him his mother and father were both doctors so they told him we all told him don't worry you will catch up and pass your sister. Guess what? Today, he's taller than me. 190多公分呢 And of course, his sister is not that tall. So it was a matter of time, or we could even say timing. We were just slow growers going on. 4 years later, we were still growing. 4 years later, my oldest son, he was growing when he grew another centimeter, 1公分, when he was 21 years old. Now that's a little bit rare. 这个比较不一样. But anyway, eventually I topped. I was more than 6 foot 1 inch. Okay? And my brother even a little taller than that. So my brother was about 6 foot 2. So we grew much taller. Going on. This experience reminds me of a little boy who desperately wanted to grow tall. Okay. This experience reminds me of a little boy who desperately wanted to grow tall. Okay. Desperately. 拼命的想要 desperately 拼命的想要这个长高 he wanted to grow tall. Going on. One day his mother saw him outside hanging by his hands on the clothesline frame. So the mother sitting at the kitchen window, probably washing her dishes or cooking, and she looks outside and she sees the little boy hanging on the clothesline pole. Okay, now, what do you know about that? Okay, 晒衣架. Okay, the clothesline pole. Okay, 晒衣架. And 他是用双手抓着. Okay, and 他是吊在半空中啊。Okay, so here he is, and he's right there, and he's just hanging there. Okay, and it says, going on, she opened the window and shouted. 开了这个窗户啊，跟他喊着说呢 What are you doing? You know how mothers are. They are always saying in sing-song voice, Johnny or Billy or whatever, what are you doing? Okay. Gritting his teeth. What does it mean to grit your teeth? To grit your teeth, I wrote it down. I'm not sure that, let's see if I have it here. It says gritting his 咬着牙. Does that make sense? Okay, to grit your teeth is you're bringing your teeth together like, well, maybe I should give a close-up shot. You're gritting your teeth here. Okay, you get the impression 它是很用力的. You're gritting your teeth, okay? And it says here, he opened the window and he was gritting his teeth. He answered, I'm tired of being short. Okay, all along, of course, this is very difficult, right? You're hanging there, and it's very hard to hang there. And so he says, I'm tired. I don't want to be short any long. 我已做这个矮小的人，我已经腻了. I don't want to be short any longer. So he said, I'm hanging here because if I hang here long enough, my body will stretch out and I will be taller. So you understand the boy's reasoning? This is obviously a little child's reasoning. By the way, I didn't do this, but this little boy did. And he said, if I hang there from the clothesline frame, 这个晒衣架, long enough, my body will lengthen out and I will be taller. This is a little boy's reasoning, not mine. Going on. We laugh at the little boy's answer. But I believe that if children eat well and take care of their bodies, they will naturally grow taller in due time. We laugh at the little boy's answer. Of course, we think that 很幼稚 is a very childish way of approaching life. We all know that you just can't hang there and suddenly become a tall person by hanging there long enough. But I do believe, and this is the way I ended this session, 我自己相信 if children eat well and take care of their bodies, 好好照顾身体，吃好，好好照顾身体。Okay, well, maybe even say 保持这个健康的生活。They will naturally grow taller over time. 自然的会长高。Now, let me just tell you my own story. My own story about my own two sons. I was very, very short when I went to high school. Even my wife，我的太太，我们是原来是同班同学。Okay, we were in the same class. She was that much taller than I was. I was very short, as I mentioned. Okay. Now, fast forward, 时间过得很快, and now we are hoping that our sons will naturally, 我们有两个儿子, naturally grow taller. So what did we do? We gave them healthy food. Very, very healthy food. We were extremely careful. Today, my two sons are much taller than I am. I am the shortest man in my whole family. All the men, my brother's sons, my own sons, my brother, I'm the shortest one. Why? Because they grew naturally in due time. 到时候会长高. My eldest son is 201公分, 6'6", and my second son 最矮的呢是197公分, 6'5". So, what did I learn? Choose your parents. Choose your parents carefully, which you cannot do, of course. But eat well, and God will take care of the rest. You will naturally grow taller. Okay, we have an email address. 你可以发一个 email 给我, theoldprincipal@gmail.com. And we have a website. Our website, 我们的网站是 www.theoldprincipal.org. Hey, it's been great to join you with another story this time. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye-bye for now.